Dippy dip in Dark Souls, prepare to fucking die, bitch.
Hey everybody, we're playing Dark Souls for the PC, Prepare to Die edition.
Yeah.
Quite possibly the greatest video game ever made.
Probably.
Very
Quite
likely.
Probably.
In terms of what I would consider my personal standards for video games, this has everything I could ever want.
Too many options.
It feels as good as a game could possibly feel in terms of like controls, catharsis, the way that it like attacks work. There's a lot of options.
That's a keyword.
It's a game that it gives you direction but doesn't force you in a direction, you know? Dipshit.
I couldn't. I was trying to play it straight, but I just could not. Oh yeah. Oh, I know exactly what's going on here. Gift.
It's a game that gives you like the opportunity to play it however the fuck you want, basically. There's so many options, so much stuff to do, but not like just being a fucking open-ended nothing like Skyrim.
You got a giant head.
You okay?
You're trying to say profound things about this game, and I'm just having too much fun. I always have to make a jubilant Katarina. Are you fucking kidding me?
So,
oh yes.
Yeah, like, you know, people talk about a game like Skyrim and about all the freedom and all the shit to do, but all the shit you can do is boring.
Yes.
It's all just, there's
Bullshit.
no real, like, level design. It's just, like, a bunch of fucking places where nothing's interesting. That fucking purple hair. That purple hair, though. That purple-ass bobbed hair. Oh, God, you're going into, like, fucking in-depth on the character customization. Are you okay? Your whole body is purple. Winter, quieter laughter, please. I'm sick of all the mic clipping.
I'm sorry. It's too good.
We ruined. This video series, this Dark Souls, will probably come out alongside The Legend of Zelda. Like, not 1-1, but it'll start coming out like a few days into Zelda.
What happened to Kirby coming out?
Kirby's still coming out.
It didn't come out today.
Yes, that's because I slept for too long, and I did not schedule the episodes yet.
Oh.
So I still have to schedule all the episodes of Kirby.
Oh, I thought you were doing it like every other day or something.
No, I thought about that, but I don't know. It was just I just slept in.
All
and
right.
didn't post it. Anyways, Zelda's probably coming out right now, but we have already recorded 28 episodes of Zelda.
Yeah.
And the last few that we recorded had just way too much yelling. let's try to cool it down a little bit.
I mean, we were playing Zelda and losing our goddamn minds.
Yes, it was the water temple.
Yes.
You know, shit happens when you're playing the water temples.
Is your frame rate dropping?
Just skip the cutscene. We're trying to do like a lot of stuff at once. We're trying to like record and play.
Oh.
So
a good frame rate.
Also, we don't have DS Fix.
Ah, what?
We didn't install it yet.
We could have played on the PS3. Anywho,
it's easier to record this way, I guess. Hopefully, it doesn't look like shit.
I don't remember.
It only records in 30 FPS, anyways.
Why'd I kill that guy? He did nothing to me. I just murdered him for no reason. This is how this game comments on human nature and motivations.
Yeah.
I'm just murdering. The game has not told me to murder them. They did nothing to attack me, and I just killed them for no reason.
Congratulations, Victor. You're a game crit now.
I'm experiencing Dark Souls.
Start making some errant signal videos, because that's about where you're at mentally.
Wow. Yeah.
That guy just chilling. You completely missed him, but he doesn't seem to give a fuck.
Yeah, I didn't want to kill him. Anyways.
Did you not want to kill him, or did you miss twice and give up because it was too much of a hassle?
Yeah.
I asked a question and your answer.
I was thinking about something else. I find it interesting that the real goal of a game like this to me is whatever the player's motivation is going into the game. Where it's like, if your goal for this game is to just beat all the bosses, then that is the point of the game.
It's an interesting framework with Dark Souls because, like, on the one hand, there is a definitive, like, I conquered everything, I got the credits to roll ending, but also it's sort of implied that no matter what, like, no matter where you stop playing, that is the ending. because the idea is that you go hollow if you give up. You know, so
they incorporated you giving up on the game into the story of the game.
Right, like if you give up, then that means your ending is that you went hollow, and that. So yeah, it's. I mean, a lot of older games kind of did that, where like if you died in Zelda 2, for instance, it's like Ganon returned and the world ended. Like that. That means the story ended there when you died.
Yeah.
And then you're playing like an alternate universe version almost. But with this game, it's pretty well woven into the narrative because you constantly see people in parallel universes who failed.
Yeah.
Like, that's what, anytime you watch someone die, the idea is that is a different adventurer in their own time who failed and is dead.
I'm going to stop using my shield now.
Hold on, I forgot to quit Skype before we started.
If anyone's noticed, I have a lot of fun when I play Dark Souls.
Yes.
I like to fuck around.
How many times
I don't
have you
speedrun
played
at
all the
all,
way
really.
through Dark Souls? Like, how many times
start to finish, probably maybe 3 or 4 times.
How many times do you
But
think
then
you've played like half of it?
Oh, many times. many times. Because we used to try to come up with new runs, and then I just played until I got bored and stopped.
You're gonna get dumbass.
I was trying to roll out of the way.
Yeah, you ran too far up.
No. You ran too far up.
Yeah, so the plot of this game is that there's like a million what is it that someone says like time is weird here? Is it the Sunbro who says it?
I think so. Yeah, someone like that.
Someone tells you that time is not right in Lordran.
Yeah.
And the idea is that
inverted cameras.
different timelines, different parallel versions of the same world are all occurring at once, and that's why you can team up with other adventurers.
Yeah.
Who who are trying to do the same thing, which is of course online play, or even just summoning spirits. Like it's sort of implied that like that certain guys like Sunbro are like. Is it not implied that they might be like another hero who fails? Is there anyone like that?
I think Sunbro's the only one who's really like that.
Right. So there's, I think, well, like anyone who you can summon for battle is kind of
a little
like
open-ended, open for interpretation, I'd say.
Yeah. A lot of this game is.
And
again, that all contributes to what makes it so great. Is that it's a game that constantly provides you everything you need to have a full experience while also giving you the tools to have a much bigger, broader one. So in terms of gameplay, like you can play through it straightforward and it'll be easy enough to find a path and every level will be satisfying, but you can also play it in a totally different way, totally make up your own run, make up your own rules, make up your own this and that, and play it totally differently. And then you could interpret the story just with what's given to you, or you could read into the story and get so much more out of it. It's a game that no matter what level you're willing to engage it on, it always gives you a good time. It's a game that starts off super hard for people because they don't really understand how to control.
Yeah.
But once you know the controls, it's not really a difficult game unless you make it difficult, which you easily can.
By fucking around like I've been doing, and just really eating shit like half of this first area. Oh, I'm gonna love if anyone comments on how horrible I was doing just now, but
you realize that to the average person,
Dark
the fact
Souls in a
that
very casual way.
To the average person, the fact that you didn't die is impressive. Like they'll be like, "What the?" Because I've seen people take hours or an hour at least just getting out of Undead Asylum. Like they just get hit by everything because they don't know how to fucking roll. Or they don't know to fucking roll. This scared the shit out of me the first time it happened.
Dude, fuck yeah. Look at my
like,
burnt ass, man.
Out, looking at the mountains.
My awesome bolt cut.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Hello, birds, bro. Bruh.
And it takes you to a magical
Getting transported to Harry Potter land. I like to imagine that like Hogwarts is just a mile away from this place in Dark Souls, from Lordran or whatever. You really have no perspective of like the rest of the world in this game. It's just like this one small location, and then like the whole rest of the world could be up to something totally different.
Yeah. This game also does a great job of like you feel like the kingdom is actually the size of a kingdom, Like, one of the things that bothers me in games...
Didn't that cutscene remind you of the beginning of Zelda when you're in the perspective of Navi and she's flying around the town?
Not really, but I get where you're coming from. Anyways, what I was saying...
Yeah.
It feels like it's the size of an actual kingdom, like what it would have been. You know, like you've got the castle, you've got the city surrounding the other places, like because kingdoms were like they were not the size of a modern city, but they were big. You know, and everything was centered around the castle. It's like you have a castle in the middle, and then it sort of tiers out, and like I get why in a lot of old RPGs and stuff, you know, or even in just in RPGs in general, the towns are always like small because they want you to be able to go into each place. But it really has. I have a difficult time with the immersion in those scenarios when I'm like, what town would ever have been 2 houses?
Yes.
You know, like in Skyrim, when you first emerge from
that's why it's at least nice when you're in those towns where it's like there's a backdrop of more places that you don't get to go into.
That's what I like to see.
Because then
like,
it's at least implied that there's more to it.
In fact, all the games really in the Final Fantasy series do a pretty great job. Well, not the like first couple, but most of the Final Fantasy games, I want to say from 6 onwards, they always imply that there's way more to each city than what you see. Or even in like the best at it is Final Fantasy 9, where the cities are fucking huge and like. You know, there's only a few buildings that you actually go into, but you see, like, a ton of buildings that you pass by, and it looks like you're in, like, fucking New York or something, you know? You're like, Jesus, this place is endless, and I love that. But, yeah, when you first emerge in Skyrim after you fight or you escape from the dragon, and then, like, there's that first town, and it's, like, literally 3 buildings. That's the town, you know? And then you go to Whiterun, and even Whiterun is, like, not even the size of a neighborhood. It's like, I get that fantasy towns weren't necessarily all big, but this is nothing. This is not a town. And then I was like confused. I was like, is it supposed to be that Whiterun and that other town are like the same? Is it just that like they built a few things a little farther apart? But the way the game is, everything's kind of the same distance, right? Like there's a bunch of little towns like that, and it's like it just feels like it's a really small country full of really tiny towns. You know, like the fact that it takes like 2 minutes to travel from one town to the next by foot doesn't make it feel big. It makes it feel smaller to me. Like, oh, it's a whole open field, but why would these 2 towns be built only 2 minutes of walking apart? You know, just that kind of stuff is weird to me. Whereas I'd rather that it's like. I like how in a game like Final Fantasy, you know, you go out to the overworld and it's kind of implied that you're walking a very long distance in between the places.
Where it's just represented in a different way.
Right. Or like, you know, when you've got like a caravan, like in like Tales of Symphonia or something, where you never see them like riding in the caravan, but when they show up in town, there's sometimes a caravan there, like to imply that that's what they're driving in.
And you feel like you're exploring a big world map with oceans and shit.
Whereas, like, Skyrim...
Well, Skyrim's more about exploring a country.
Right, but it doesn't feel the size of a country. It feels the size of, like, the city of Virginia Beach at best. You know, it's only, like, what is it? Something like 30 square miles, something like that. Which is, you know, big for a video game, but when you, like... When you play Daggerfall, it was literally the size, or twice the size of England, like the entire country. You know, I mean, a lot of it was like randomly generated and shit. But whoa, that guy's still following you after you lit the bonfire.
Because I didn't rest at it yet.
Oh, okay.
Man, did I just get hit out of it by an arrow? That was whack.
So yeah, but Dark Souls does a great job of like. It's the world, like the amount of space that you play in is relatively compact, but it's all needled through. Like look around you. You see all the buildings. You see the city. You know, like you can't. And
you see that there's obviously parts that you aren't exploring.
Right.
Or that you feel like there's more to it than.
But you feel like you're walking on a set path through an entire kingdom. Yeah. You know, like not just a castle, but the whole fucking kingdom. And the land area, like, you know, like even if it's a straight line, that straight line is really long. It feels like a straight line through a whole fucking town in an an old-timey town. Like this game, yeah, it feels the size of a kingdom, even though the play area, what you interact with, is smaller than what you might in Skyrim, where it's like, oh, I can go into every house. It's like, yeah, but what do you do in every house? There's
a guy in there.
Yeah, there's nothing. Who cares?
Kind of some quest
I don't care what's in their house. This game it's an immersive location. You feel like you're in a real place, but you're only engaging with the stuff that actually fucking matters.
Yeah.
You know, the stuff that's actually fun. Everything in this game matters. Everything you pick up, everything you look at, every single thing you grab is immediately relevant to you.
Yeah.
Whereas in Skyrim, you can loot like a whole fucking dungeon and be like,
looting.
what am I doing with all this shit?
Oh, I've got a bunch of carrots now.
Right.
Cool. This is a waste of time.
So to me, when I think open-ended game, like this is the ultimate game to me. Like it's a game where you have immense amounts of choice with how you go about playing it. Lots of different possibilities of how to explore the world, but all of it is relevant and interesting, and none of it feels like why would I want to? Of course you want to.
It always reminds me of like the Metroid and like Castlevania maps where it's like everything is well thought out, every room is important, and it's just like this whole cohesive experience.
It feels so much bigger than those games too, though.
Yeah. Well, it's also because those games are usually 2D.
Right. Well, even like Metroid
Prime feels pretty big because there's always like a long elevator to the next place, and it makes you feel like there's all this distance between everything.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said about stuff like that, stuff that I think you lose out on when you try to make it like, oh, well, you can...
Oh, shit. Oh, no!
It's like you see those mountains in the distance, you can climb those mountains. It's like, what am I going to do on those mountains? Who the fuck cares? What am I doing there,
You're going to find
it's such... Or any of those games where, like, there's, like, 6 climate changes in the span of crossing the country, and I'm like, really?
What trips me out is, like, when people play Skyrim and they're like, oh man, it's more beautiful than like the real countryside. I'm like, have you ever been outside?
Right.
Have you ever been to
Skyrim's
like a mountain
ugly.
range?
I don't
like
get
that shit is ugly and it looks totally unrealistic from like how mountains actually look. And it's like once you've been out in mountains and you see just how big they are, it's
mountains
like
are fucking
fucking awesome.
And again, to compare to this game, the mountains that you're like, because this castle is built on a mountain.
Yeah.
And this mountain is
huge.
unfeasibly gigantic.
It's incredibly
like,
large.
Even when you reach the highest point in the kingdom, you do not reach the highest point in the mountain. And when you reach the lowest point in the kingdom, you do not reach the lowest point on the mountain. This entire game takes place in the midsection of a fucking enormous mountain.
Yeah.
And it's a huge game, Skyrim is like you scale a mountain in 2 minutes and, it's whatever. It's a hill. It ain't a fucking mountain.
Yeah, it looks big in the distance, and you get to it, and you're just kind of like, eh.
Right. Speaking as someone who's been mountain climbing, it takes a lot longer to climb a mountain than what is represented in most open world games.
Yeah. Which is kind of like defeats the fun of it.
Yeah. Just not that big into open world games. Never got it. Like, to me, I love exploring worlds, but everything in it has to be interesting.
Yeah.
I like densely packed worlds where it's like, if I look over, if I decide to travel to that random spot.
Yeah. I want something cool to be. Dragon's Dogma, I think, does a wonderful job of doing the open world right, where the environments feel way more real, and it's huge, and it just feels really good to go around, and like you always find something cool or interesting, or the environment's slightly different. It looks like they planned out every bit of mountainside where it's like no two things really look completely the same.
Right.
Ah, fuck.
That's how most people like what people say about Morrowind, where
firebombs.
But
no, I died again.
I can't get past the movement in Morrowind and the feeling of things in Morrowind.
All right, I'm gonna not die.
Concentrate a little harder.
I'm gonna not die now. I'm just gonna run through the rest of this level.
Yeah, we haven't really set any like specific goals or
Yeah.
ideas for this run.
I've just been very
It's just
casually
kind of you
playing
just
Dark
like,
Souls.
Yeah, I'm just running around.
'Cause I just like playing Dark
Walking
Souls.
around in my banana
Nah.
shoes.
I was kind of like
Fucking
going in
balls
and get
rock, you
secret
idiot.
doors and shit. Whereas I don't really need to do any of that shit. It was just like having fun.
Let's go and squish, squish, squish. You should probably like get an idea for like what kind of build you want or something.
I already have.
Oh, okay.
I've been
You've
I
been
chose
thinking about
deprived. I've done some things. Yeah. Oh God. Let's get out of that place. Go up here.
it. All right. It's time for.
Let's fight the big guy.
Yeah. Gotta
Let's
fight
heal.
that guy. Go kill the archers first.
Hopefully I don't get my ass kicked. Let's go kill Archer.
Walking
I've got it
around
under
in my
control.
banana shoes, walking around in my banana shoes, going squish.
Ah! Bow. Bow.
Oh, eat it.
Bow.
Oh, kill him,
Oh, why did they
Terrio.
die in 2 hits? This is bullshit. They're just standing around. Fucking
Probably 'cause
assholes.
you're weak.
I was killing most things pretty easy. Yay! I
Yeah,
killed the
big dumb club.
archers.
Has
I
no one
climb
dropped a
right
better
down.
item than this? I like how your did you see your fucking souls over there?
Yeah,
Like
that was
way
awesome.
the fuck in the distance. That's the other cool thing. Like
Yeah.
a lot of what you see,
can always see everything
is-
everywhere you've been.
like you see it in the distance, and you don't quite register that that's like the level
Yeah.
until you like really look at it, and you're like, oh, that's like where I've been
Yeah.
or where I'm going.
That's my dead body over there.
Yeah, such a fucking perfect game.
Let's fight the Taurus demon. Be down there. Brah!
That douche.
I'm sorry, brah. Didn't mean to hurt your face.
Get him away from. Oh, wait.
Am I on the
that
stairs?
shit.
Shit. I thought I was already climbing them. No, don't hit me. Don't hurt me, no!
What did he even hit you with?
His club?
It didn't look like he hit you.
Boom! I'm gonna not be a hero.
I really hope, like,
Fight him.
because you know the audience for this video,
Uh-huh.
for all of our videos, is like just really my fans. They're the only people
Yeah.
who really know about this channel. We haven't like advertised this in a Let's Play community.
Uh-huh.
We're not doing this on Twitch or something. So there's a good chance that a lot of the viewers either will have not played this game, or will have played this game once badly. And,
Hopefully that's it. Hopefully they aren't like super huge Dark Souls pros
I mean,
that
I'm
just
sure
think I'm
there'll
a total
I'm
fucking
sure there'll be a
loser.
couple, but like, what I
Uh.
really want to see is like, because you are pretty good, you knew that trick, you know.
I mean, if you played the game once, you know that trick.
No. Why would you think that,
If you ever got past that boss, you probably know how to beat
Victor?
him.
Have you watched anyone play this game?
I guess I haven't watched enough basic people play
Most
it.
people do not know that trick.
Uh-huh.
We knew that because Dansan told it to us.
Yeah.
And like it was common knowledge on the internet, but most people play video games in a void. They don't
Yeah.
look up other people's playthroughs constantly. I've watched tons of people play Dark Souls with Dansan, and most of them just run at enemies and fight them.
Yeah.
They don't realize that there's exploits and different shit you can do, like, you know, to trick the enemy and stuff like that, like best optimal strategies. So
We should decide this right now. Should I kill Sumbro?
no,
Okay.
Sunbro's cool. Do you want any of his shit?
I mean, I could have taken
Will
his
it
armor.
be relevant to your build? Anyway, that's
Dude,
the. By the
I
way,
don't
that's
take
the
it
end of
that
the first
seriously.
episode. I was just gonna, you know, go to the
Yeah.
first boss. Wait, don't run. That's the end of the episode.
No, no.
All right.